All right, seventh graders. So I've let my car dry completely out. I painted it the other day, and it's nice and dry. So I'm going to take some 220 here, and I'm going to very quickly just go over the top of the paint ever so lightly. Do this outside. Do not do this in your house. Your parents will go nuts if you do, because all these little particles of paint that are falling off right now are going to fall on their carpet or their flooring or their tile, and that's no good. So do it outside. And what I want to do is just sand off. It's not going to look a whole lot different, but boy, it should feel a whole lot different after you get done sanding it. So there's my car sanded off. Blow all the sawdust off. And so I have one coat of paint on there. I've done a little sanding. Here's my paint from the other day. Mix it up real good. Get all the sawdust off the plate. Put another chunk of seal paint out on there. And again, the paint feels a little thicker, which means I must be doing a good job of mixing it pretty well. And then I'm gonna come back in here and put another coat on. Notice how different the second coat of paint is looking. It is sitting on the surface of the wood. It doesn't want to absorb in as far or as much, and that's good, which means it's easy to get it chunky and not looking so great. So be careful. And again, I would rather do 3 thin coats than a big heavy gloppy coat that looks like, looks like it was done by a 3rd grader that only has 1 art class a week. So we're going to come in and take our time. Like I said, at this point, this paint dries so quickly that about every 10 or 15 minutes, I can add a coat. Now, so my car is going to be basically gold, not all gold, but pretty much gold. And again, that color was dictated by what I had at the house here. I should have ordered some paint when I decided to do CO2 cars at home. I should have ordered some evergreen middle school colors for a little pride and a little school spirit, but I did not. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this gold paint. Put a good coat on here, make sure I don't have any runs or drips or glops, and then let it dry, and then I'm going to come back and do another coat maybe in 15 minutes or so. Maybe a good gauge was I'll go wash my brush out with some warm soapy water, wring it out, and then when it is dry all the way through in 10 or 15 minutes, maybe a little more, maybe that would be a good time to come out and put the more paint on my car. So I've painted everything. I haven't painted the bottom of the front here, so I'm just going to set it on the edge of the plate and get a coat on here. And again, be patient. It's going to take a few coats, so it's not like I'm asking you to do 3 hours of work today. All you really got to do this week is finish up sanding, which again will take some time, and then start painting your car. And if you can give me 5 minutes of painting in the morning and 5 minutes at night, I would say by the end of this week, your car should be painted, because next week I am going to give you directions on how to put in the eyelets and the axles and all that good stuff, and make your car race ready. So, and then we'll talk about how we're going to race them. I'm going to guess we got a couple options. You could turn them into me. I could go up and set up the track, and I could race them, and you could watch what would turn out to be a couple hours worth of video of cars racing, which might lull you into a coma. Or what I think we'll probably do is grade the cars after they're all done and assembled, and then next year, maybe after school or during lunch one day, when we're racing the first trimester kids of next year, get your guys' car and have you come down for races and race your cars as well. All right, there's coat number 2. I'm going to let this dry, and maybe in half hour put coat 3 on it. And then if I get really excited, I'm going to do my cockpit, maybe a race stripe. But like I said, typically, the simpler you keep your car, the paint job, the easier it is. If you don't have if you only have one color of paint, what I have done a lot of times to do cockpits or race stripes, fingernail polish. Fingernail polish is wonderful paint, and it comes with a little applicator. But you got to be really careful taping things off before you do it. So anyway, there's coat 2. Coat 3, I'm not going to film. If I do any more details, then I'll certainly send a video for you can watch that. Be patient, be good, be safe.